This one not the off in mind. And in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you lie down. My ego don't come. My people make we shut down. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. My ego die political. My ego don't come. This one not the off in mind. My ego don't come. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. My yegun don't come. My people make you shout. My yegun don't come. Man of the masses. Mayegunda yari politico. This man not the off in mind. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do. Mayegun diary, number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo do. Mayegun diary, number one. Mayegun today.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Máyégún máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary political. Godfatherism.
Thank you. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun today. Mayegun diary.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Thank you.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa rí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa rí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin òru.
Mayegun máa rí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
My dear friends, I must be honest with you. Today, I would have preferred not to be here to preach to you. Today, I would have preferred to lock myself up in my chapel before God alone, to weep and to pray. To weep and to pray for my nation, where darkness has descended. To weep and pray for my church that is being stifled out of existence in the world and also in Nigeria. To weep and pray for Deborah Emmanuel, who was killed because she found herself in a part of Nigeria she thought was home, but it wasn't. To weep and to pray for my brother and friend, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, the world-acclaimed voice of the voiceless, who has now become soft target for those same voiceless people who see him as part of their problem rather than as part of the solution. To weep and to pray for the poor, miserable murderers of Deborah, who have been left uneducated and unemployed deliberately so that they can be manipulated, brainwashed, and instrumentalized for political ends by religious bigots and political egoists. To weep and to pray for people who should be leaders, religious leaders, who enjoy being ambivalent in the condemnation of evil when it is perpetrated by one of them. To weep and to pray for our political leaders, under whose watch this nation has crumbled, and they keep looking for whom to blame for the mess in which they have put all of us. I would have preferred not to be standing before you here now to tell you about love. The liturgy of today instructs every Christian and every Christian preacher to reflect on the essence and the meaning of Christianity, the love we should have for one another. But how can you preach love in Nigeria? How can you preach love in a country where violence has become a rule, where hatred and intolerance have become norms rather than exception, where corruption has become a culture and a tradition, where impunity has become law, where the government feels so helpless that it is now appealing even to religious leaders to talk to non-state actors so that they will not make this security situation in our country worse. Those were the words of the Vice President of Nigeria while he was speaking to all Catholic bishops of West Africa gathered in a meeting in Abuja. He addressed us 2 Tuesdays ago. And we are wondering how a presidency could publicly admit that they have lost control, that they have left the ground so free and the country so lawless and so stateless that non-state actors now take over the entire country, not only in Sokoto and Kaduna and on the
Thank you. We are going to have a bit of a long night tonight. I have a lot of ground to cover. And I bet many of you have been reading the news of the Nigeria accountant general who has been arrested for money laundering and diversion of public fund to the tune of 80 billion naira. And that is $192 million. Although it's not supposed to be something so new, but as the old stories, event, and all this connect to one another, as always, you always get your answer every time you ask yourselves. Most of the time, the kind of rhetorical questions that you ask yourself: how did Nigeria get here? In July 2015, Buhari appointed this thief. And if you all know very well, the message of all these Fulani thieves in Nigeria is to always, what's it they call that thing again? To be sanctimonious, being sanctifying themselves. So that you will think that those who are looting Nigeria, whenever they said Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, they are what? They are from southern Nigeria and they are infidel. This criminal that you have here was appointed in July 2015. And because of his criminality, he was meant to retire when he turned 60. But the thief continued because Buhari reappointed him. Now, for some of you to understand what is 80 billion, this guy you are looking on your screen right now stole the amount that is equivalent to the budget of the following schools in Nigeria. Just if you know that ASU is on strike right now, and they are on strike because the lecturer said they are underpaid or short paid. However, do you know that the money this thief appointed by Agbaule Buhari, that 80 billion naira can pay for the budget of the following schools? One, Kaduna Poly. In their 2022 budget, Kaduna Poly, 10.8 billion. That is their 2022 budget. Oko Poly, 7.2 billion. Yaba Tech, one moment. Yaba Tech in Lagos, 6.6 billion. Auchi Poly, 6.6 billion. Bida Poly, 6.1 billion. Nekede Poly, 6.1 billion. Mubi Poly, 5.5 billion. Ado Ekiti Poly, 4.4 billion. Bauchi, 4.4 billion. Ida Poly, 4.2 billion. Ilaro Poly, 3.1 billion. Now, that is exactly the budget of all these schools. Polytechnics in Nigeria. And that is what somebody stole under Buhari. How did he steal that? He stole the money through bogus contract that they put in the budget for you all the time. Yeah, the trillion that you have been reading about it. So then they pay false consultant fees. So when they were probing him, yeah, so they figured out that the consultants who are collecting the billions and the billions, they were his children, his family members, his wives. And just last year, if I'm not mistaken, this rogue is over 62 years old, right? Accountant General of Nigeria. So because when they tell you that your leaders are thieves, because they are, and then some of you feel like, look at them. These people, they don't steal. They don't do all that, yeah? But wait, He married a 13 years old, I've been a 14 years old girl last year. This same guy. And this is the one person, money that could pay for all of your polytechnics budgets for 2022. One person stole all of that through consultancy. Do you remember Maguluta Crook? The Maiduguri MLK, the former EFCC chairman. You remember what that one was accused of stealing as well, diverting, and with the other people they stole. You know how they relooted, they returned loot. You know, they had what they called recovered loot. Now they relooted, recovered loot. So I use the phrase relooted. That Maguluta Crook that they put inside the Old Rock house arrest. Do you know that they have finally they have actually promoted him now to AIG? Very soon, he's likely going to be your police IG. Yeah? You know Malamu. Malamu is your Attorney General of Nigeria. Abacha loot alone. That Switzerland was meant to be returning to Nigeria. UK returned to Nigeria. Malamu suddenly set up this set of legal consultants. And Malamu is paying them more than 30% of every return loot to Nigeria. Every time you are reading about Abacha loot to be returned, every time Malamu and gang, they are cashing out 30% from the source. But do you know the story of this return loot? These looters, these criminals, this APC, they did not process any return loot. Now the Egbere, good luck, Egbere, Jolantan, PDP, who were chasing return loot after Obasanjo. But by the time they will start returning the loot, they can't return Abacha loot to Abacha boys. Bokwari is in government. And you know Bokwari? What's that guy? Other guy's name? Baba Gana Kinjibe. You know all of them, Abacha boys. They are the ones ruling Nigeria by proxy. Abi? So when they return Abacha loot, they return it to them. That's why you can't find the loot anywhere. When they ask them, where is the return loot? They said they have paid it back into the national policy and they have shared the money. They say, Malamu, where is the loot? We have used the loot to construct a new railway. That's the money we used to construct Lagos-Ibadan Express railway. That's what we are using to construct this. They said, but what about the China loan? The loan you took from China? How about, we thought those ones are for the train. See, we shall collect the loan. Forget about the story. The loan has been used. What happened is that they have always been relooting the loan, right? So, last, though, the big story of how did Naira got devalued, these thieves? How did the debt of Nigeria skyrocketed, these thieves? How did the looting escalated, these thieves? But guess what? They are trying to save you from other thieves, according to them. If not because of them, una go don see shege than what you are seeing right now. You should be grateful to Bokwari. You should be thankful. And guess what? People say the reason why Nigeria is hard to break is because of all this endless looting. You will never see a southern politician come onto national television or go everywhere and mention the thieves from northern Nigeria. Then Bonham, they always pay homage to the thieves. Okay, yeah? So, the looting, they said, is because of the oil. They said that is why Nigeria cannot break. But last, the oil is useless to you as a person living in Nigeria today. You know the oil is useless to you, Abi? From January to March. And now this is May. From January to May, NNPC in Nigeria, they are selling crude oil. But they are not emitting any dime. You know what they are saying? Because they have to use the money to pay for subsidy. Listen to this GBTO. The reason why many of you are poor
And some of you who are still managing right now, some of you don't know that you are so close to poverty than you can imagine. You are jumping up and down. Go and get your PVC. You see, by the time they are done with you, many of you who are still jumping now, by the time they are done with you, your own Bambiala is going to be worse than those who have already fallen, the fallen angels, in what they will do to you. Since January, they have remitted no dime, kobo, sisi, dollar, penny, pence, nothing. And when they ask them, where is the money? Meanwhile, because they haven't remitted a dime, because the only thing they know Nigeria to be selling is crude oil. So since this January, when the crude oil price started going up, then Russia wahala started, crude oil started going up. Nigeria should be having more money. So that you see all this borrowing, loan here and there. They want something to shock it. But because these people are the criminals that came to steal, to loot, to burn, to destroy, to kill. And that's exactly what they are doing. But you are not paying attention. You pray. You are praying. God will judge them. Before God judge them, Baba, you go see hell. You have no clue. If you have the whole picture, instead of Nigeria to be saving money as they are selling more oil, making more money, these thieves occupied, NNPC occupied by these northern thieves, they said they created a loophole. Suddenly, subsidy money tripled. Suddenly. And in order to pay for it, they have to use your oil money. You see, oil, all of you will get to say now, our oil money. Your oil money, as they are selling the little they are selling, as they have created more bunkering. Listen, this is data. This is data now. And I will break it down for you. In the whole world right now, a barrel of crude oil. Should be Nigeria is broke. Nigeria continue to borrow, Abi. And the reason why Nigeria is broke and continue to borrow is because of thieves like this. If one person can steal 80 billion, if Malamun can steal more than 300 billion, one person steal over 300 billion. Now, imagine others in NNPC and all of that. Now, this is the picture of that of NNPC. When these rogues came in, they said those who are stealing Nigerian crude oil, they were stealing more than 30%. Since Nigeria is pumping 2.3 million barrels a day, crude oil. But 30% of that is being stolen elsewhere, which means Nigeria is losing money. Now, the 2.3 million barrel, when they took that to the international market for those who are selling for them, they are buying it for more money than it was 6 months, 7 months ago. Maybe that should automatically just say, thank God, though, this is our access to Forex. Let's save as much as possible. So that with that will improve our Naira, stabilize it to some level. We shore that up, and then our lenders too, that will build more trust and say, confidence, rather, it will build more confidence. Now, economists is no waiting that they talk so. What I'm trying to explain here now, economists, those who are economists will understand it. So if you ask me, myself, I don't know. I've read it many times. So what that means is that when Nigeria rely more on for what they sell out, and Nigeria have nothing to offer the world, now this crude oil. You see, when these rogues now came in, from 30% stolen crude oil in Nigeria, it has now jumped, reports said it has now jumped to over 80%. Now, the remaining 20% that they are even selling at high price, they created a loophole where they are going to say, there is no much money, Jare. Which oil? There is no money there. The money we are making, we are using that to pay for subsidy. So that if you go to the pump station, if you go to filling station, you can be able to buy a liter for 170 naira per liter. If we are not using that money to cover that thing, you will be buying a liter of fuel for 500 naira. So don't question us. So that is why NNPC did not remit a dime since January. But do you know the truth? Morgan, Shana Morgan, what did they call that? Shana Morgan Finley, Abina Morgan Stanley. Help me, guys. Because now that has now, because NNPC, the dollar where they're supposed to remit, they have stolen it. As they are getting the money, they are sharing it and stealing it. Nigeria account don't red. The Nigerian rating don't reduce. JP Morgan, they've removed Nigeria name from countries that you can do business with. Countries you can take your money to and you will get refund, you will get profit back. Do you understand what that means? It simply means, maybe Nigerians are complaining of no jobs. Nigeria is complaining of low foreign direct investment, FDI. So once they remove your rating like that, they will just want all the people with real money, except for thieves who just want to come and do Ponzi scheme in Nigeria. They are those who bring their little money. They will rape you. That's why you hear that you lost, they stole 7 billion. One person will come, will just give you one bobo. All of you will gather your penny, gather everything, give them. Desperation. Those are the people that bring their money to Nigeria, rape you, and take it away. The real businessmen, they look at the rating and say, Omoh, you won't carry your money go Nigeria? Think Amo. For this so reason, corruption, terrorism, you know what I mean? All these things. Now, finally, they don't even have anything to back anything up. If your investment go there, na story. But another lie, meanwhile, the lies they told you is just an open lie, naked lie. Have you forgotten that in this 2022, this year, Bokwari and gang, they passed the budget of 14 trillion. I've been at 15 trillion. 15 trillion. And in that budget, they said they were removing subsidy. And you remember the scenario, the fuel scarcity, all of that, Abi? Now they said, okay, if you don't want us to remove subsidy, we'll just go and borrow the money. Is that not what they told you? They said they will go and borrow the money to pay for subsidy. Therefore, Bokwari wrote a letter to the National Assembly. He said, I need a supplementary budget so that I can pay for subsidy in 2022. Now, look at this. Oh. Before these criminals came in, the ones who promised you one refinery each every year, now, you don't even have a Korope refinery. You don't even have Gorodomu refinery. One small Gorodomu, one small barrel, they take and refine petrol. You don't even get anything anymore. But you remember when they came in, Goodluck Ebere, Jolantan and PDP, they said they were paying about 400 billion for subsidy. And the entire Nigeria, they are using 25 million liter a day. Boom, when these criminals came in. I'm telling you how they depleted you, how they run you down, how they bankrupted you, how they made many of you to fall into poverty, how they devalued your naira, how they fleeced you. And those who fleeced you, they have names. You can see their faces. Do you want to help them? You want to be an undertaker? The people will go help them carry the body of Nigeria enter grave. Upon all of this, I'm giving you the pointers now. You remember they said they want to go and borrow money for it. Now they have gone to go and borrow the 5 trillion. So from 400 billion a year on subsidy, and you are buying a liter of fuel for 87 naira per liter, you are using 25 million, between 23 million to 25 million liters a day. APC, Egbekegbe came in. Your petrol jumped from 87 naira to 145 naira per liter. They are still paying subsidy. Guess what? Subsidy also jumped from 400 billion naira a year to 1 trillion, 1.2 trillion naira a year. Remember? I know you remember. And since then, it's either they pay 1.2, 1.4, 1 point this, 1 point that, and all this money could actually set up and fix all the refineries in Nigeria. But government can't fix refineries. Government can run your petrol, whatever. But Dangote can do it. Therefore, let us use the CBN to empower and be the guarantor for Dangote to build the biggest, the largest, the greatest refineries in the whole world in Africa. That became a campaign material. We can't wait for Dangote refinery to start. They entered your central bank. They dragged your central bank into printing money to cover up as a pretended collateral for Dangote. And now those they told you wanted to give them money, Dangote refinery will start working in year 2020. You remember? 2020 came. They said now 2021. 2021 came. They said now 2022. Now, 2022 came after all of the commitment they have, after killing everything for him, after running your country down for him, after emptying your central bank for him. Now, the news came and said, Dangote is broke. Quota system billionaire is broke. He has no money to even complete his refineries. Investors who brought little money, they are regretting. Nigeria is broke because of these rogues. I didn't say that. Go online and read it. The news came out yesterday or this morning. Dangote is broke. He has no money to complete his refinery. So you see what they did to you? You have a long way to go. Then they said that anyway, he has been suspended. I remember they suspended Magutu. They will change the suspension to retirement. Now go shout and shout and shout and shout, and then you go on. And but what you go on to is that you never remain the same. However, my people, the ayeye that is smelling, the people who are running when nobody is chasing them, the people who fear their own shadow for what they have done, they brought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to court today. And at the same time, it was not because they came to allow him defend himself. It was pretty much like a show. However, they will continue to run from their own courts because I believe in one thing. You can lie for so long, tell the lies and begin to believe in your own lies. The propaganda they have invested so much in is kind of paying off, but it will be for momentarily. So, in court today, they decided to discuss the bail application for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, in the old convo, the judge, Binta Nyako, has now come clean to say the reason why she would not admit the bail application of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail, despite the argument of his lawyers that he had to run for his life when the plot of the state was to kill him. However, extraordinarily renditioning him back to Nigeria is also a criminal act, illegal. Binta Nyako said Nigeria acted right by kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya without the consent of even the Kenya authority. And they are right simply because there is a bench warrant for his arrest. There's also a twist. The reason why I'm showing you this picture is because there's also a twist in the court today. Nigeria decided to amend their bogus charges against him. They said his lawyers, Barrister Ejiofor, they said Barrister Ejiofor will be charged with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because he was in contact with him when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu escaped from his killers. The Nigerian military in 2017. So they are also saying that they are going to charge his lawyer. However, demoted in the court after the case was adjourned. Is this image you are seeing now, and also what happened in that court today? Just glimpse of few things we can pick on, and at the same time, the statement of his lawyer, like this one.
And you cannot charge a person on a law that is still inchoate. They have nothing to say. What do they say when we said?
Please, that is the camera. The camera is too close.
People are blocking us.
Yes. Please ask questions like
Can't you just...
So for the benefit. Okay, let's move on. So for the benefit of Nigerians, could you tell us exactly what happened in court today?
Briefly, sir.
If you
don't want me to talk, go.
What do you mean by those two applications. Sorry, sir.
If you want to go, you go.
Sorry, Nnamdi. Our apologies, Nnamdi.
I don't have to speak.
Our apologies.
You all were in court.
Our apologies.
I don't have to speak.
Our apologies.
Finally, those two long-awaited applications have finally had their day.
Sorry?
The two applications, those two pending applications, have finally had their day. Tell us how it.
No, not the two applications, one. And that is the one that is jurisdictional, which is saying that all the 15 counts in the charge are bad, and bad. Like I described it before the court, they are as dead as dodo. All that the court requires is to give them a decent burial. Because there is nothing whatsoever in the counts at all. You are accusing Nnamdi Kanu of making some broadcast. You didn't say where this broadcast was made. Was it made in the spirit world? Was it made in the air? Was it made under the ground? You didn't state. That was to run away from the first count they had fired, which we attacked when they had mentioned the United Kingdom. So they thought that by not mentioning a place, they had gotten away from it. But as a matter of fact, they had worsened their case, because the Federal High Court Act says specifically, Section 34, that you must state the very location, specific location where an offense has been committed. That is one. They couldn't state any. They say made brokers, and that the brokers were in furtherance of some treasonable acts. For you to charge a person with furthering treason, you must have to charge the person with treason. Nnamdi Kanu is not charged with treason here. We call it the predicate offense. Sure. It is from this predicate offense that the acts of furthering will emanate. So they are building castles on empty air. There's nothing to support it. You are saying that the broadcast he made led to protests, violent protests in the east and in Lagos, affecting Lagos transportation system. Does this court have jurisdiction territorially over Lagos and matters that happen near Uli, near Ihiala, in Anambra State? No. Does this court have jurisdiction over matters if there was an offense committed, for example, say in UK? Does this court have jurisdiction over matters that happen in UK? Answer, no. Because this court cannot exercise jurisdiction on matters within a sovereign land, another country that has sovereignty under international law. Another major point is that you are trying this man, saying for committing, for belonging to a proscribed organization. And I must now say this, contrary to what the prosecution said last time. Nnamdi Kanu has never denied being a member of IPOB. He says, I am not a member of proscribed IPOB. I want all of you to know the difference. And when IPOB was proscribed through the court process, Nnamdi Kanu challenged it. The matter is at the Court of Appeal currently. Yeah. Nobody knows the judgment of the Court of Appeal. If the Court of Appeal finally says that this proscription was wrong, as we are contending, let's say by that time you had already tried Nnamdi and jailed him, how will you bring him back? So you are trying him under a law that is inchoate, that is being challenged, whose efficacy and longevity is being tested and has not been finished. So we call it lite pendens, or the doctrine of sub judice. So you cannot. So Nnamdi Kanu, in his extrajudicial statement, said he founded IPOB in 2012 in London, and that is the head. He has never denied being the founder, head, and member of IPOB, but he denies being a member of proscribed IPOB. This point must be made clear. We have also challenged the entire law itself, the Terrorism Prevention Act as amended of 2011 as amended in 2013. Now, it is not a law within the exclusive legislative list of the National Assembly that it ought to have made. It has no competence to make it under the Constitution. We have also challenged that. There are other grounds, very strong grounds, where we are challenging that. For example, you brought this man, you abducted him by force, you tortured him, you captured him like a common criminal in Kenya. A British citizen who had gone to Kenya voluntarily, you captured him, you abducted him, and you rendered him to Nigeria by force without going through any extradition process. And all the laws governing this matter, like Article 12, sub 4, Article 34 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, like sections 4 to 6 of the terrorism and other acts within the Commonwealth jurisdiction, and even Part 5A of the guidelines issued pursuant to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, say that before you can try a person for an offense, you have to show that the person was rendered freely and voluntarily, lawfully, to your country from the country where he was, maybe as a fugitive or as a visitor. But Nnamdi Kanu was captured in Kenya and brought here extrajudicially to Nigeria to face trial. That cannot make any count based on that to stand. It is like saying that you can destroy a person ahead so as to have the chance to try the.
Thank you, Mr. Mike Ozekome, explaining the charges one by one, just same way he would argue in front of the judge, talking about the charges and all of that, defending his clients. However, when they denied Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, while they were dealing with that inside the court, outside the court, where Biafrans and the supporters of IPOB and other member of public came out to show solidarity and show support to the leader of the IPOB as much as they could, the Nigerian police were busy as usual, even though those who are, who are victims of kidnappings, who are still pretty much vulnerable to getting kidnapped, they are there, unminded. The Nigerian police, Nigerian security, as usual, they were there to unleash brutality, something like this.
They should give us water. They should not give tigers. They should be tigers for us.
Because you have a miscarriage. God forbid. The policeman is shooting tear gas on me.
Can you see that? She's not washing herself because of the tear gas. Everybody is running. That's why my tear gas.
Just
they must release election, whether they like it or not, because he did not do anything.
Of course.
Yes. And when he hung, how apply only people medicine they are
Mhm. So that happened. But nevertheless, when the case got adjourned and one of the lawyers was leaving, you know, Barrister Aloy Ejimako, there was a mood covered. But talking about Abuja, so the same Abuja also witnessed what they, a place called Day Market, I believe, where a trailer, according to the report, a trailer crushed a woman, a bike passenger, got crushed, and afterward, I think the Okada riders or something like that, staged a fight back, and they started burning down the market there, including people that they could attack. So that's ongoing in Abuja. That same Abuja where they are doing a public show of the trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Was pretty much in high spirit. So talking about the violence of this, or the menace of these Okada riders who are invading every space, including leading to insecurity threats in Lagos. I bet many of you have, probably those of you who are living in Ajah, those areas, you would have to begin to find other means of transportation, because Sanwo-Iku made an announcement just today to ban Okada in those areas. I can't, since I've been born, since I've grown up, I can't count how many times Lagos State, different Lagos State politicians have sort of banned Okada. I mean, it's like a normal thing, okay? Ban Okada. Then politicians during campaign, they will start sharing Okada. But this one, it seems to be a different one, because we have, the level of insecurity around Yoruba, around Nigeria, the Yoruba land, Lagos State, the threat is real. People who live in this axis have been sort of raising concern over the influx of, Hausa, Fulani, Northerners who have no real means or anywhere they live or are staying in this axis. People are now feeling concerned that the numbers of Hausa Fulanis who have no real address anywhere in that part of Lagos. Every morning when you are going to work, you will see them on your path, just there gathered. You don't know what they are doing. You don't know what they are going. Many of them have picked up Okada now. So a lot happened. Something happened as well just about 2-3 days ago. A young man was killed, lynched, and was burned to death. So what happened? They said that one of the Aboki Okada riders was having an argument with his passenger in Lagos. And it was the argument over change. And it was 500 naira. Okay, this is it, right? The Okada man charged 400 naira for the trip. The passenger gave 500 naira. So the bike man should give a change of 100 naira. So the bike man said, I don't have change. Right? And then the passenger was like, go and find me my change. As they were having an argument there, this young man, the father of two that got killed, is not the Okada man. He is not the passenger. He is not working at the bus stop. He walked out like everyone else. He walked out from an eatery, or is in a shopping complex. For those of you who know the story better, because I may not be so kind of accurate, but I know what I'm talking about, right? So this young man, like everyone else, came out, and in the process, they started trying to
settle the what do you call it, the fight. We don't know what happened. And then you know, the next thing they said that the what do you call it, the passenger is a Yahoo boy, and that is what they do in that area. They come, they pretend to be passenger, that they need a change, this and that. Before you know it, they pounce on that person. Before they start attacking him, yeah, he managed to escape from them. The real passenger. But you see that person where came out to say, so it's okay, it's okay. What it's okay, it's okay. Settling the fight. The next thing like this, they just pounced on him. They even said, when they started saying they are Yahoo boys, that's what they do, that's what they do. The guy ran away. Somebody saw him where he was trying to hide. I don't even know how somebody who is not involved in something ended up being the center of the whole fight, and then he got killed. But the bottom line is that it was the Hausa Fulani Okada riders who took over everywhere and threatened anybody who tried to come their way. It's like they are like waiting, you know, what do you call the trouble waiting to happen. So this has now led to, when the whole thing now came open, this now has prompted the Lagos State government, which Sanwo-Iku himself actually declared today. Hear from him. Life is meaningless in Nigeria. Life is worthless. If you have yours now, you can still use it for something